Okay, here we go. Now I'm going to take you on to Cambridge. Now, the Cambridge House, this is good stuff. You need to pay attention here, too, in finance. And I would just listen to them, because if you tag them, and subscribe to them, you'll start getting the information that I'm getting. But Peter Schiff, here we go. Let's rock with him. And this is January 23rd, 2013 when this one was published. And while
investor, yeah, I'm a serious investor, but I'm a busy guy.
I'm gonna come down here and I'm gonna open up
easier,
this
but now there's
other
more
one
choices
right
than ever. I want to know exactly what I'm investing in.
Get
I
far
want to
away.
know exactly how much I'm paying.
Tell you about the dollar sell-off.
I want to use the same stuff the big guys use.
So
Find out why 9 out of 10 large professional investors choose iShares for their ETFs. iShares by BlackRock. Call 1-800-iShares for a prospectus, which includes investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses. Read and consider it carefully before investing. Risk includes possible loss of principal.
Now Greg Hunter is with USA Watchdog. This Greg Hunter with the dollar sell-off. He's with USA Watchdog. Subscribe to him, Greg Hunter. You'll get information from him. It's real good stuff. Let's go back over here to Peter Schiff. Well, that's what he's got to say.
Welcome to Cambridge House Live. I'm Bridget Anderson, and I'm joined by Peter Schiff here at the Vancouver Resource Investment Conference. You are the CEO and Chief Global Strategist at Euro Pacific Capital, also fairly recent author of a book, The Real Crash, America's Coming Bankruptcy. Nice to have you here.
Thanks for having me on.
And let's start off with your book about America's coming bankruptcy. Give me your overview of where you think the American economy is.
Well, first of all, it's my most recent book. The first book I wrote came out in February of 2007, and that was called Crash Proof: How to Profit from the Coming Economic Collapse. The reason this book is titled The Real Crash is because the economic collapse that I wrote about in my 2007 book hasn't happened yet. In that book, I did write about the housing bubble and why I believed it was going to burst, or why I believed there was a bubble.
You were right on the leading edge of that.
And I wrote about the ensuing financial crisis that would result from the bursting of the housing bubble. And so I did forecast the Great Recession that began in 2007. But more important than that was what I believed would come next. And that hasn't happened yet. That's the real crash. Because what really was worrying me was I was afraid the government would respond to the financial crisis by doing more of the same policies that caused it, which is more deficit spending, more cheap money, more central banking and central planning. And as a result, I think the U.S. economy is now poised for a much bigger collapse. I think that what's coming is a sovereign debt crisis and a currency crisis that will make the financial crisis of 2008 look like the proverbial Sunday school picnic. I think that it's going to be much worse than what Europe has been going through.
And do you think that investors, Americans are...
There you go. Now, there he is. Now, let's go over here and get with Greg Hunter.
Julia Child became a famous chef at age 51. Picasso painted one of his masterworks
at 56. The sell-off in 4 months. This was posted January 27, 2013. So, give him a look.
Hello, I'm Greg Hunter. Thank you for joining us today on USAWatchdog.com. With us, John Williams, economist John Williams at the renowned Shadowstats.com. John Williams, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Greg.
Well, let's start off with the big number that you extrapolated out of Treasury data, and that the real GAAP accounting, that's the generally accepted accounting principles, the same accounting any big company would use, our real deficit, counting everything, $6.9 trillion for 2012, fiscal 2012. What does that tell you about what's going on in the economy?
Well, it's generally not when things come in worse than people expect, and this, I believe, was worse than people expected. Generally, that's because the economy is not as strong. as people are looking at or assuming when you look at projections for the budget going forward. And you're going to have a lot of projections in the next couple of months as Congress supposedly works to balance the
now
deficit over 10 years.
let's go over here to Cambridge House again. That's January 24th. And this is Jeff Burrick being interviewed.
Welcome to Cambridge House Live. I'm Bridget Anderson at the Vancouver Resource Investment Conference, and I am joined by Jeff Berwick, who is the founder and chief editor of the Dollar Vigilante. You also started Stockhouse.com back in 1994, and you have since sold it. Welcome, nice to see you again.
Nice to see you too, Bridget.
When we last spoke last January, you weren't very optimistic about the global economy. What would you say about the state of the economy now?
I can't believe the changes in the last year. It's unbelievable. When I first started writing the Dollar Vigilante in about 2009, I thought, what am I going to write about every day? And now there's 10, 20 things to write about every single day. This system is in collapse, and it's unbelievable, and most people don't even see what's going on.
So what are the top things that are grabbing your attention right now?
Mostly, it's how the U.S. government and the Federal Reserve are reacting to all the problems. So you look at Paul Krugman. In the last year, he's come up with two plans, and he writes for the New York Times. His first plan was fake an alien invasion. And he said, what will happen is that everyone will create guns to fight aliens, and that will boost our economy. That didn't really work out. And then he said, well, let's make a coin and make it worth $1 trillion. We're in the last days of this financial system in the U.S. This is Zimbabwe.
There you go.
Talk to me more about
I'm running
that.
out of batteries is what it is, so look him up. Look that up. I mean, just subscribe to Cambridge. If you don't get that, man, they'll tell you everything you need to know. Okay, now, there was another one in here, and I got to find it. This right here, U.S. hides its real debt. We're in worse shape than Greece, is what it's saying. So here you go, and this is Russia Today. I'm like checking them out. They're cool.
More than 2
Good
years ago,
information.
the people of BP made a commitment to the Gulf, and every day since, we've worked hard to.
Lawrence Kotlikoff, economics professor at Boston University. It's a pleasure to have you with us today.
It's great to
See, this is kind of news we don't get on regular TV or
So you're the one who states that
newspapers
America
or anything,
is
really,
broke and is even in a worse state than Greece and Ireland.
Yeah, it's after
How
it's happened.
so?
They got
What
us.
exactly do you mean by that?
Well, we economists look at all the bills the government has to pay, and in the U.S. case, we have enormous bills that have been kept off the books that are not official debts, but they're very real. For example, paying me my social security benefits, my old age pension.
Subscribe
that's
to
a real
Russia Today.
obligation.
That's what you want to do is get to that one.
It's not part of official government debt.
And then,
but it's,
when you come out of that,
very
look this
important.
one up right here. This is really good. This is good information to know. Now pay attention when they say warrant services. That means that they go and somebody pays them to go issue warrants.
Hi everybody. Heavily armored DHS vehicles seen on the road. August 14th, 2012. June 24th, 2012. May 11th.
Here's our Russian DHS with the Russian troops and stuff in here. We've already seen them do their little video thing.
Gary.
Oh, hey.
What's that?
I see you've noticed my authentic 1980s championship wrestling belt. Got it with my tax refund.
I got this Android phone with my refund. It was less than $100 at Boost Mobile. Let's take a pic.
Cool.
Hey, that's my belt.
Get out. Yeah! We hear you're looking for a smarter way to spend your time.
Hi, this is Sherry. I wanted to bring this information to you. that I received this morning. It started out, I had...
I'd keep running through them. Found them.
Today is March 5th, 2013,
Oh, it's pink.
11:31
Pink
p.m. Pacific Time. And up next,
Pink
government
getting a little
arms
bit of
race kicks
everything.
into high gear as DHS buys 2,700 armored vehicles for the streets of America. This is by Mike Adams, the Health Ranger, and it's dated March 4, 2013. The website is naturalnews.com.
This is good. This more need to know information.
Following video details the contents of a Department of Defense document entitled Internment and Resettlement Operations, also known as FM 3-39.40.
Y'all looking
The document is
up, man.
325 pages long and it is signed by Joyce E. Morrow, Administrative Assistant to the Secretary of the Army. It was created in 2010, however, it's just been recently leaked to the public via the internet and can now be downloaded from multiple sources. In the description below, you'll find a download link for the document. I strongly encourage you to download it yourself and to verify everything that's being said here. The document outlines military procedures for internment and resettlement of civilians, and it describes the layout and the administration of these internment camps. It clearly states on page 38 that it applies within U.S. territory, and it specifically addresses the detainment of U.S. citizens, as is indicated by the identification procedures for new prisoners on page 146, which states that social security numbers are to be recorded alongside their photograph and fingerprints.
These links will take you where you
Included
need to
in
go
the list of organizations which may be involved in these
stuff.
internment operations are the Department of Homeland Security, FEMA, the Department of Defense, and the United Nations. On
There's
page
another guy I
56, the
want y'all
document outlines the
subscribe to.
responsibilities of
Dabu 7. Let me find him. He's one of my favorites, man. Young boy, and he's on top of everything. No joke. Man, I guess I gotta go home. All right. There be no. Well, there's some more good stuff right there. Let's see if I can't find him. Here he is, Dabu 7. Now, he's giving us a little information on a little everything. Sort of like Pink. But look
Hey guys,
him up.
Dabu 7.
That's
I'll
how you
talk a
say
little
him
bit about
right
what's
here.
going on in space right now.
See it?
The past week, we've had to look at it like we've been fairly lucky with 3
Alright, battery's almost
near-Earth
dead.
asteroids coming very close.
Alright. So there you have it. Those are the few people I would suggest, or a few, tubers I would suggest subscribing to. They got good information. Peace, and Shazbot, and all that other good shit.